Good morning, and thank you for joining me for today's episode of 80 Days Closer to Christ, where I'm on a mission to help you come closer to Jesus Christ. Today we're going to study Alma chapters 57 to 58. Our thought for today is by Richard C. Edgley. Who are we going to believe in our search for happiness and well-being? Will it be Satan, the author of all lies and deceit, whose single objective is to destroy us? Or are we going to believe a loving Heavenly Father, who is a source of all truth and happiness, whose sole objective is rewarding us with His eternal love and joy? I love how this focuses on how Heavenly Father is our source of truth and happiness, and how His sole objective is to reward us with His eternal love and joy. I feel so much truth in that in my own experiences and in the stories and experiences of others, especially those in the Book of Mormon. We are going to mark and ponder Alma chapter 57, verse 21 and 27. Yea, and they did obey and observe to perform every word of command with exactness. Yea, and even according to their faith, it was done unto them. And I did remember the words which they had said unto me, that their mothers had taught them. Now this was the faith of these of whom I have spoken. They are young, and their minds are firm, and they do put their trust in God continually. Isn't that beautiful how it overlaps with our thought? And it so beautifully blends together our Heavenly Father's love for us and His desire for us to have joy. Okay, we are going to turn back to chapter 57. I just want to look at verses 35 and 36 for just a moment. And behold, we are again delivered out of the hands of our enemies. And blessed is the name of our God. For behold, it is He that has delivered us. Yea, and that has done this great thing for us. Now it came to pass that when I, Helaman, had heard these words of Gid, I was filled with exceeding joy, because of the goodness of God in preserving us, that we might not all perish. Yea, and I trust that the souls of them who have been slain have entered into the rest of their God. It's so beautiful how we continue to see that God is there beside us. He will help deliver us out of all of our burdens, out of all of our suffering, and He will deliver us out of the hands of our enemies. Now, they didn't do this without fighting. They didn't do this without much preparation and building their skill to be able to defend and protect themselves. And it's important that we remember this, because God can work with us, but He can't be the sole hand working in our lives. We have to put forth an effort. We have to trust Him that He is going to do the work for us if we are willing to do our part. This makes me think of a covenant, that a covenant is a two-way promise between us and the Lord. And without one of us doing our part, if the Lord was not to do His part, it wouldn't matter how much I did my part. It wouldn't work. And vice versa. If the Lord does His part, but I don't do my part, the covenant doesn't work. You can also think about this as an oak that oxen wear, a yoke that oxen wear. That the yoke is created for each oxen that wears it, that it's fitted specifically for them to be the most effective and best functioning. And without the counterpart, the yoke doesn't work if it's built for two oxen. These are all things that I've thought about as I've studied these scriptures. The next thing I want to study with you, or that I want to review with you, is Alma chapter 58, verses 7 to 12. As I read through these verses, I want you to be thinking about how the difficulties that the Nephites were suffering can be related to your own life and your own spiritual connection with our Heavenly Father. So chapter 58, verses 7 to 12. And now it came to pass that we did wait in these difficult circumstances for the space of many months, even until we were about to perish with the want of food. Have you had a trial or difficulty that has lasted many months, and you felt in a way that you were starving for relief? But it came to pass that we did receive food, which was guarded to us by an army of 2,000 men to our assistance. And this is all the assistance which we did receive, to defend ourselves and our country from falling into the hands of our enemies, yea, to contend with an enemy which was innumerable. Have you had a similar experience to this, where you received help and support, but it was just barely enough, and you felt like you were just barely hanging on, and you weren't sure how much longer you could make it, but this small, meager means of support that you received just barely got you by? And now the cause of these our embarrassments, or the cause why they did not send more strength to us, we knew not. Therefore we were grieved and also filled with fear, lest by any means the judgments of God should come upon our land to our overthrow and utter destruction. Have you felt like you're on the verge of destruction in one way or another? This could be any number of things. It could be health, it could be finances, it could be relationships, and you're just not sure how to keep going. You're worried that the adversary is going to overcome you. Therefore we did pour out our souls in prayer to God, that he would strengthen us and deliver us out of the hands of our enemies, and also give us strength that we might retain our cities and our lands and our possessions for the support of our people. They felt like they were on the very edge. Have you felt this way, like you were on the very edge and you weren't quite sure how you were going to make it through another day? You had just barely enough support. You had just barely enough means to be able to get through. And you dropped to your knees and you offered up a prayer. You poured out your soul to God and asked him for relief and support, begging him to help you make it through this one more trial. Verse 11. Yea, and it came to pass that the Lord our God did visit us with assurances that he would deliver us. Yea, insomuch that he did speak peace to our souls, and did grant unto us great faith, and did cause us that we should hope for our deliverance in him. After these great trials, pouring your soul out to God, has he responded in a similar way? Has he responded in such a way that you felt comforted and assured that he was there with you, walking with you on this path, feeling like he would give you hope, that he would deliver you? Verse 12. And we did take courage with our small force which we had received, and were fixed with a determination to conquer our enemies, and to maintain our lands and our possessions and our wives and our children, and the cause of our liberty. These scriptures relate so closely to our lives. I see these messages throughout the Book of Mormon as I continue to study with you. And I can see how this relates very much to the difficulties and trials that we experience. That as I come to the Lord and I pray to him and pour out my soul to him, that he opens the path for me and opens a way, that I am emboldened in my faith and courage to do his will, that I then move forward knowing that he is behind me. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Think about ways that the Lord has been there for you. And maybe take a little bit of time this week to journal out your thoughts and your experiences where you've had a difficulty. You've poured your heart out to the Lord, and he has strengthened your faith and your courage. Until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching.